Finance for Hippies is recorded at the Goethe Institute in Johannesburg, South Africa. They enable arts and cultural organizations to be more entrepreneurial so they can create a better society.
The Goethe Institute does this through a global network of hubs where local creatives act as a driving force of economy and culture.
Hit him swag. 2015, cool kid, I met Ndarkie. Ndarkie told me, Teethswag, I saved him, man. No ways, dude. I told him, odd over money, odd over money. I told him, dude, odd over money. 3 years passed and my palm's still not itchy. Bank account still small like MT's peepees. Streets need me, Ndarkie. Can you feel me? That's why we dropped Finance for Hippies.
Swag and Ndarkie. Who needs a budget? Dude, really? Finance for who? Sounds silly. As I think about it, my credit cards are through the ceiling. You don't need a loan. I'll pay you back. Sasa's kicking in on the 15th for sure. Alright guys, I would like to welcome you to another episode of Finance for Hippies, hosted by yours truly, Teethswag and Ndarkie.
What it do, Ndarkie? You good today?
I'm solid, man. I'm solid. You?
You know, I'll be out here. I'm on these streets. What are we drinking today?
Today is a good day. Hippies and Cola, Western Cape product, the best of the best when it comes to brandy.
That's how we roll, man. Clippies and Coke, and Clippies and Coke. That was requested by our guest today. So I just like to announce our guest. We're blessed today. We got T Money here. T Money did a BA at Wits. She's currently the Regional Arts Program Administrator at Pro Helvetia South Africa and CEO of Hidden Hand Studios, right? T Money, aka Tiffany Mentoor, is also the meme queen of South Africa, according to me. Meme queen of South Africa, who rescued a dog called Jeppy 2 to 3 years ago. We're in blessed company today. Yo, what's up, Tiffany? What's up?
Thank you for having me. Wow, man, you did a whole search, yeah? Google.
Ndarkie.
How's Jeppy doing? That's my question.
Exactly.
Please, one thing I have to give to Teeth is that the caliber of artists he always, or people in the art space that he brings, are the highest people I've ever encountered. You guys, by now, I'm sure you know I'm not much of an artist yet, but the mixtape is coming.
Yeah.
The Rise and Fall of Don Salamanca.
There we go. The name. You just dropped the name.
The Rise and Fall of Don Salamanca is coming through.
We don't even have the topic yet, and you just dropped the name.
No, for sure.
On the mixtape.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, appreciate that, man.
For us who are not on the art side, who don't know much about art, nothing much about art, please tell us a bit about yourself.
So, I think I've been saying that I was an artist. I still am. I'm just on a sabbatical. Like, I have OCD, but not diagnosed. It's kind of like self-diagnosed. I just really like things to be in its place. So I'm weird because I love administration. No one loves administration. No one. I mean, I found myself very quickly moving towards art administration. It's basically project management. It's really project management. So I could say that my career really started in 2013. I was working for Wits University for the Department of History of Art, and it started with organizing like a colloquium, which was a one-day symposium with like a conference, like a mini conference. I've worked with several international and local funding organizations, and a lot of it involves, it's a lot of bureaucracy. You have to work within the systems of the organizations that you are in. It's contracting, it's a lot of stakeholder engagement and management, and your stakeholders are everyone who's involved. And understanding those systems allows one to be more efficient. So when it comes to art administration, I mean, I currently work for Pro Helvetia Johannesburg, which is the Swiss Arts Council, and I am the regional arts administrator for our and mobility grant, which focuses on providing micro grants. So it's a small amount of money that goes towards traveling for specific projects, whether it's collaboration or it's circulation of work or presentation of work or like small tours or research residencies across the SADC region, which is 15 countries in Southern Africa. Outside of that, I've also been facilitating classes and workshops at the Market Photo Workshop, which is based really around professional practice for photographers. Then also just generally working with artists to help them find effective ways of working. You know, there's a lot going on, but because of the work that I do and the people I engage with, there's a lot that I see. So I'm able to put people in touch with the right people who would work well together and collaborate well together. And, you know, it's a really, I'm grateful for that position, you know. And like, what's Spider-Man's uncle? With great power comes great responsibility. It's true.
Yeah.
And it can be a lot of pressure. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it can be something that, you know, if you're not passionate about it and you're not engaged, you miss an opportunity, you know. But I also am one of the directors of the Hidden Hand Studios, which is an animation studio. We are all based in Joburg. We don't currently have an office yet, but we work remotely. So just to give a bit more on that, so my partners are Lesego Foster and Ross Leliot. Both of them are animators. They've done a lot in their own right. And our aim really at the Hidden Hand Studios is to create local content. And also a big part of what we do is wanting to find ways to create spaces for young animators and young professionals to also learn about the industry.
You were telling us about how your pops taught us the ropes, around finances, managing a business at a very young age, you mentioned, which is, I guess, these are the lessons that carry forward and form the values and principles that you arranged your life.
I'm fortunate that my parents decided to educate themselves about finances, and they kind of broke the cycle of not educating their children. I mean, my timer is a businessman, bro. You know that in school, nah? In school, there was a day I remember he decided, he's like, no, I'm not looking after you anymore. Here's so much money. You need to decide what you're going to buy as stock. I'm going to go with you to buy it, right? And you have to sell it. And from that money, you must then pay me back. Or, depending on how it goes, I will invest in this thing and you keep that capital, but you need to make your own money from your sales and you have to keep buying new stock. So my father really was instrumental in how I thought about business. I don't have any sort of formal business education. This is really just like street smarts, you know?
Which feeds into what sparked the starting of this podcast, Finance for Hippies. We found out that there's a big gap in finance knowledge and how to run and administrate a business, especially for artists, specifically for artists. And in this specific episode, we wanted to tackle really the issue of financing an episode, thus the name.
Financing an episode?
No, yeah, you can say financing an episode.
Ndarkie's payment was late this month.
Yeah, I know. Financing an episode, financing
an episode.
A mixtape, financing an exhibition, whatever art project you're doing, it needs to be financed, and hopefully at the end it needs to bear some fruit that you take away from. That's the name. Mashonisa financed my exhibition. Cool name, huh? I came up with that.
Please don't approach any Mashonisa for finance.
The Mashonisa has evolved as well. As much as the art worlds have, the finance department at every Mashonisa has an art department.
Hi.
Which you can lodge your application for funding, and then they'll fund your project. Of course, you need to give them all your IDs and your bank account.
No IDs are required. But look,
how do you know?
Yo, man, the journey to being Teethswag has got some it's got some dark times and dark stories that brought us to this episode. But I also think, the reality of it is in my own journey as an artist, I've had experiences where the knowledge is not there, so you do what you gotta do to put things out there, and from my side, people from the art that I've even had to do, people would think that, would look at it with an eye that, okay, cool, it's had a degree of success. But the reality of there's lots of knowledge and things that I've done that I didn't have the right knowledge, so I did stupid things. And trust me, Mashonisas are out here for these artists. I've got artist friends. I've got, whether it's musicians, whether it's great. And when they don't know what to do and they don't understand how things work, they hit up the Mashonisas. A couple of us are down, a couple, we hit the street prices of 30-40% per loan just to put the project out. That's the reality of it. And, I think it would be interesting to kind of obviously have you here as well as a guest but the Mashonisas are part of the economy, whether you like it or not.
That begs the big question as to, if you are a young up and coming artist, what options do you have in order to finance your project?
Okay, so for me, the first thing that you really need to look at as a creative, as an arts practitioner, a cultural practitioner, is, look, you need to question why you are doing this thing. It's a conscious decision. You've decided, I want to do this, okay? So just like someone decides or is pressured into sometimes studying accounting or going into commerce or going into medicine, whatever you do is a decision. So you need to really start a journey of self-awareness. Why am I doing this, and what are my goals for my career? Because just because it's in the arts doesn't mean it's not a career. And with every career, you need to be strategic in your goals and what you want to do, because besides your career, there's also life. Maybe you want to start a family, maybe you have a family. We all have dependents. Black tax is a real thing, whether you're black or not, Black tax is a thing.
Right now.
Yeah. That's why we drink. So it's just a vicious cycle, And being an artist is no different from being a dentist, honestly speaking. You need to decide, this is what I'm doing, But I think it also starts with sorting out your personal finances, because you can't operate a business or operate as a professional if you don't have your things in order at home, Creating an environment, surrounding yourself with people who are, not everyone is going to understand or be supportive, but you need to then educate them and help them. That's why I said, I became an ambassador for the arts in my own family. And now, all of the grandmothers and aunties and uncles, when the younger cousins come with, they want to do fashion design or even graphic design, they get excited. They're like, no, speak to Tuffs because she can help you or connect you with people. They don't see it as something that's not for us. They appreciate the value of it. And that's also because of all of my exhibitions and art and studying art and being an art student. I would encourage my family to come and support me, And they were even involved in the making of the work, so they understood. A few months ago, I was at my uncle's place, and he's got a wood workshop situation, right? So one of the things, or the way that I work, is you need to also, besides being self-aware and creating a space for yourself and looking after your personal finances and stuff, you need to do an audit of who's in your life. Because we all know someone who does something, who has a skill set. As an artist, as a creative, we want to be the jack of all trades, but we are the master of none. Then you spread yourself too thinly. You're not focusing on one thing, so you don't develop that one skill because now you're working from a place of desperation because you need to make money, right? But instead of just focusing your energy and your time and your capacity on one thing, you end up doing so many different things that actually you don't achieve anything at the end of the day. So if you do an audit and you're like, okay, cool, this person is good at this. This is this person's profession. They've got this skill set. Like, I research people. So I appreciate that you found out that I saved Jeppy. But like, I do the same thing. If I'm going to work with someone or someone's approached me on a project, I will research you, I will Google you, I'll ask around. I'm like, oh, we have these friends in common. I will phone that person and be like, do you know this person? What's your experience of them? It's not a bad-mouthing thing, it's a credit check. It's like, I want to work with people who want to work, right? Because I don't sit back and just chill. When I'm working in production, in anything, and I think people know this by now, is that I don't just sit back and like say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this. But it also comes from a place where I want to learn about how things work. That never dies. I want to learn how things work. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. It means that I have an understanding of how it works, so that when I am working with someone who is doing these things for me, I can check things and I must ask questions. Because there's this attitude also of like, I've got an accountant, they'll do everything. 3 years later, this man has been like committing fraud on your name. Because why? Because you're like, it's fine, this person is doing it. Sorry, no. You need to understand how things work. Doesn't mean you have to do it, right?
And like you said, why you're doing it.
Yes, you need to understand why you've decided to do this with your life. Because when those times are rough, you can come back to that thing and be like, yeah, okay.
So take me for instance, as an example. Maybe you can do a diagnosis of my situation. In terms of, I want to drop a mixtape, as I said, The Rise and Fall of Don Salamanca. The motives really, it would be...
Sorry, we need clue bombs. when this is fun, when he drops that name, we need like, this is big. Okay, sorry.
So in my case, let's say I had a motive of becoming a rap star. One of the flyest, sophisticated artist rap star in South Africa, right? My goal is I'll start with the mixtape. I really want to finance this mixtape, right? How would I go about it? I have the option, of course, of going to some family and friends, borrowing some funds. I buy a beat, play some vocals and rhymes on there, some bars. I'm looking for a video. Everything costs money. How would I finance this project? Move on to the next one, you know? I think it's principles that people really want to know, as how one would go about really turning your project into something economically viable.
So the first thing that you would need to do is really, even if it's in point form, you need a project plan. You can't just go into anything just like, I'm gonna do this. You need a plan, you need a map, right? So project management is part of everything that you do. And as a creative or as a cultural practitioner, what we don't realize is that we project manage all the time. The difference is that we just do things. We don't have a plan before we actually start doing things, which makes one less efficient, and you actually end up wasting more time and resources and money because you don't have a plan. So because you're stubborn and you don't want to do project management or admin, because I know artists, they're like, I just want to make art, you know? And you just like, okay, cool.
Money. I don't want money.
No, I have the same philosophy, art over money, because I'm doing this not because I want, look, we all need money, but I'm not doing this because I want to be wealthy. You're in the wrong industry. Art making is about, there are different rewards when you make art, you know? It's really about, it's more about yourself. It's about your engagement with the world. It's about engaging with people. It's about, you know, sending, you know, like it's not a money game, but we do need to change the way that we work so that we can create an economy, a stable economy around the arts. So you have to start with a plan, right?
Mixtape.
Yes, mixtape. So you like, okay, cool, I want to do a mixtape. So you need to look at things like what. So you've now come up with a concept, right? This is what I want to do. Now you need to create a plan, just a rough plan of how. How am I going to do this? And that includes everything from studio time to time for research and writing to and then from there you determine all of your financial costs, your financial implications. Now the thing about financing is that let's just think about this. A braai as a project, right? Any project has got objectives. It has a start, it has an implementation, and you need to close it. So with your braai, you've conceptualized that I want to have this braai. Why? It's summer, we just want to chill. It's someone's birthday, we've had a long year, whatever. So you're like, okay, cool. What are the objectives for that braai? It's to have a good time in a safe space with people that I enjoy being with, that enjoy being with each other. Those are your objectives. How am I going to do that? So then you make a WhatsApp group. Don't do WhatsApp groups, guys. WhatsApp groups kill friendships, relationships. It just dies. So you need to think about how am I communicating this, right? You need to communicate to the people. You need to invite them. And then think about it. When you're organizing a braai, how do you finance it? You think about saving costs. So you need a venue. You need charcoal, you need certain things, you need meat, you need drinks, you need this, you need that. So a braai is a form of crowdsourcing because everyone is coming together and everyone is equally invested in having a good time. So they don't mind contributing. Someone brings these drinks, it's bring your own drinks, you put money together, you kuzat, you go buy meat. You know what I mean? The ladies, some people bring salads, some people bring snacks. It's about investment. So you have a mixtape that you want to drop. Right. You need to think about who is in your life that you're looking at your plan, what needs to be done. Now you're looking at how, and you're looking at how much. Okay? Then you're like, okay, cool. This is how much I'm willing to, or this is how much I have to invest in this thing in terms of actual capital. Okay.
You need to put some money down.
So you need to put some money down because people also are not going to meet you halfway if you're not showing that this is what I'm putting in.
Yeah.
And passion counts for a lot, but if people can see that you've done this much on your own, and as creatives, being creative, artists, everyone can draw, everyone can paint, everyone can sing, everyone can take photographs. Your creativity lies in how you problem solve. That for me is the biggest strength of an artist.
Okay, tough. I hear you. T-Money. I feel like things are so serious right now. This is... I actually wanted... if there's two things I do want to get into. I'd be interested to just hear some messy situations you've seen from creative types, whether it's from applications, just some stuff that you remember you're like, wow, that you've seen. And then I'd would like to just touch on Hidden Hand Studios and what's going on there.
Just confirm, you do have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Teeth, do you have a 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5 is staying alive, though.
It's the hottest line ever.
Teethswag.
I'm going to feature this guy in my mixtape.
No, I don't have a 9 to 5. Sadly. Yeah.
No, but it's not sadly. Like, having a 9 to 5 is also a perspective thing.
Yeah.
You know? Having a 9 to 5, I mean, I have moments where I'm just like, yo, why am I doing this? I'm tired. I'm irritated. I just want to go home. You know, with a 9 to 5, there's structure. You know that at the end of the month, you're going to have so much money. You can budget for it. You can pay your expenses. But if we treat your 9 to 5 doesn't have to be a 9 to 5. As an artist, as a creative, you create your structure, right? So it's important to have like a working routine. Doesn't matter where you're working from or what you're doing. And you need to allocate time to administration and allocate time to making. You know, you can't be trained by administration. You need to make space for that creative process. But if you leave it's about creating habits and rituals. If you leave your admin to pile up, you're never gonna want to deal with it, bruh. I'm like that. If I look at something and I'm like, yo.
No, I feel you.
No, I can't. You don't even want to approach it. But if you do small things every day, little bit by little bit, like, and create habits for yourself, you actually then become more efficient. So and all of this goes back to being consistent. Consistency is the most important thing. In your routine, in your creative practice, in your bars, in your research, in how you represent yourself, in how you speak about things, in how you conduct yourself, in how you negotiate spaces and negotiate relationships with people.
I like how you bring up the concept of reputation. There's a book called The 48 Rules of Power.
Yo! Ndarkie is going deep.
Rule number 1 of the 48 Rules of Power was that your reputation is everything. Guard it with your life.
It is. Why do you think gangsters and drug dealers are so successful? They make money. We don't have to be slinging dope and doing things that are illegal and that hurt people. But something that I've realized is that street cred and reputation in gangs is what holds everything together. There's a structure there, right? Reputation is everything, man.
No,
because
it is.
Someone, if you look, things are going to fall out. You're going to have difficult situations, but it's also about how you resolve things. So it doesn't mean you have to work with everyone, but if something went wrong, you need to have the decency and self-respect to sit down with that person and be like, yo, listen, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. I'm taking responsibility and accountable. I'm holding myself accountable for these things that didn't work out, not making excuses. So you just sit with them, sort things out, resolve things. Because it's also about respect. Respect begets respect, right? So if you respect yourself, you conduct yourself in a certain way. If you respect other people, you conduct yourself in a certain way, right?
No, that's true.
And that actually adds and cements your relationship and your reputation. So if anyone, because this is how the arts works, so this is my observation of the arts, right? There are a lot of people doing a lot of great things. But your reputation is what gets you more work. Same thing in a business. If you have a product as a printer, right, a commercial printer, if you work with people and you deliver and you're honest and you if someone comes to you with a big job last minute and it's rushed and you know for a fact you can't do this and you can't deliver this thing in terms of quality at the time that they need it, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm so sorry, we can't help you. That's the other thing that we suffer from, is that we don't know how to say no, because first we're operating from a place of desperation because you want as much work as possible. But in doing so, you are not staying true to yourself and the quality and level of work that you want to produce, which then in turn, things will mess up and then people want to blame people because you came in late with this thing. No, but you said you can do it.
Assertiveness. You need to be assertive.
If you can't do something, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry, I can't do this right now, which is a lesson that I'm also learning. you know. But if you say you're gonna do something, then do it.
Guys, look, I think Tiff, I think honestly, yeah, you've shared a lot with us, and you've stayed a lot longer than that we even had agreed to. But like, I can't explain how much we appreciate you showing up, and also I think having worked with you before, like everything that you're saying is so on point, because Tiffany I think she has this experience where she is an artist as well, but she understands how to work with artists, which is like something that is like such a rare skill to find around here. So I would just like in closing, in closing everything, this could probably just be the last thing, so that we wrap this show up and you're able to put it online. I'm hugely appreciative of you coming here. I think Ndarkie has basically, he's got you gave him the whole game plan for his mixtape. It's coming out.
The bag.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're welcome. You're welcome to pull through an invoice for your Ndarkie consultation. But if you could just give us just a final thought from your own experience, a final thought on your own experience, just on looking at corporate South Africa and artists. I think you're moving in between those two worlds. So maybe where you think the gap is, and
So I think the thing about there's a very big gap between corporate and the creative space, and the way that we can close that as artists or as creatives is really to treat ourselves as professionals. You need to take yourself seriously, because that's how the corporate space works very differently. They don't care about, like, my observation has been that there's no concern about you as an individual and what you're going through, and that's the complete opposite of what the creative process is and how we operate within the creative circles, But I think that if we focus on finding our systems that work for us, and informing ourselves and trying to research and find people who can assist us in understanding how business practice works and apply that to our practice. I think as creatives we need to really not just think about ourselves but about the creative sector holistically and really showing the economic value of that. And the only way we're going to do that is really by educating yourself on business practice and working with people and making things happen, It takes a lot of courage, really, it does. I think just to live in this world, it takes a lot of courage. But if you can just push yourself just a little bit more, to really take charge of what you're doing and make informed decisions about your practice and treat it as a business and try and make it lucrative for yourself.
For me, what I have to say is to all the listeners out there, Ndarkie is looking for a beat, a heartbeat. If you know any young producers out there with a heartbeat, new sound, I'm not into that trap stuff, so please don't even. We're going to post this probably on YouTube. Please hit us up in the comments. If you know anyone who has some hot beats, recommend us some beats, send us through. We have our details come through. Ndarkie will bust some bars there. Hot.
Just taking over.
For sure.
Look. Yo, it's gonna be real. No worry, it's gonna be edited to be fresh. Don't sweat about it. But yeah, like real talk, we are also looking for a beat for the intro. We do have an intro right now, but I think we're looking for a beat from like a South African guy for our show intro. What? Tiff, what?
Come through.
Tiff, what do you mean you got us? We're wrapping up the show. Everybody's good. We're sending a call out. Now you got us.
I've got access to so many different people.
Alright, cool.
Sure.
They need to just now. Tiff, you said you play fair. They need to apply as well, like everyone else. They need to apply their beats
And send the contract.
and then send the
Ndarkie don't
contract.
play.
Yeah,
So then you got the money to pay them also.
we got.
Ndarkie don't. I'll wait for the grant to come through. We'll wait for the grant to come through. You best believe.
But yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Tiff, thank you so much. We'll do the social media links. We still gotta record a rap track. I think we'll see how that works out. But thank you so much from my side as well. I know how much you do for artists. It's so hard to explain like how much work this lady puts in to support artists and to deal with all the stuff, you know, that we, all the like nonsense that we give, you know, people who try to help artists. But I just hope you do know that this mixtape is dropping, whether you like it, Tiff, whether you don't like it, this mixtape is coming. And Teethswag is also ready to just do whatever needs to be done to make sure that this tape comes out and it drops. Shout out to C-Funk, who's our engineer. You know, he's just out here telling us to wrap things up, because like he's like, yo, niggas, like do things properly, so he's also just helped guide everything properly,
Administration.
you know? Yeah. So thanks a lot so much.
No, thank you from me as well, Tiffany, for blessing us with a few hours of your time, giving us some solid info. We'll definitely hit you up a bit more season 2 when it comes through, to see how you've been progressing since season 1.
Tiff, I want Tiff to have something. We'll work something out,
For
like
sure,
consistent with Tiff, like hacks to like. We've spoken about this with her, but you know, we'll see. Let's get our act together as well. Thanks so much, Tiff.
Cheers. That's Teethswag and Ndarkie, Finance for Hippies, over and out.